Exorcism of Jordan Cordell.
Welcome back to Silent Screaming Resurrected. That's Jordan.
And that's Patrick.
And we're your hosts. And we never do a proper interruption?
Well, we haven't even started drinking. We're already slurring words. We never do a proper introduction, but we're trying to get more consistent because we got new equipment.
If you've been following us for a long time, which is
everybody,
probably everyone who's listening.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi to our 5 fans. Our sound quality has definitely improved.
We can do more ASMR.
Wow, I can do like whispers and stuff, and it's totally not annoying.
I don't have headphones on, so I can't hear all the cool, like, crispy mouth sounds.
That's also funny because, like, if I whisper, you probably can't hear me. It's just like, I'm just over here whispering. It just sounds like our audience can hear us, but you can't. It just sounds like a bunch of mouth sounds. Hey, welcome to the clinic. If you're new, we are a horror comedy ASMR podcast, but more heavy on the horror and the comedy.
What'd you call me?
Heavy on the whores. We're both whores, so.
I used to be. I'm a retired whore.
That's right, you're retired. I'm still in practice. Today we are talking about the classic film from
2002, I think. 02, 03? 02, 03?
Shit.
It's really old. I don't remember it being that old, though. I think it was 02, 03 because I remember... Well, let's introduce the movie first before I start getting off on my tangent like I normally do. Today we're talking about The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
No, I don't know. In honor of that, we have a specialty cocktail today that I am terming. I'm sure it's already named, but I'm going to rename it the Emily Rose. Here it is for all of those watching at home.
So if you didn't already know, you can pull us up on your Spotify and you can watch the video. So you can partake in an adult bevy with us if you'd like, or just see our beautiful faces and admire God's creation.
Yes. If you're single and a man, this is my audition video for your stay-at-home husband.
Oh, I want to be a stay-at-home bum.
That's the dream. Everyone's like, what's your dream job? And I'm like,
yeah.
What is that quote? I do not dream of labor.
No. I saw this TikTok the other day. I think I'd send it to you. And it was like this girl. And she was like having a job or like working in the corporate world as a theater, like ex-theater person. She's like, we all like go and we pretend to like do this thing. We put on a performance. And then like at the end of the day, we're like, and scene. It really is. It just kind of changes your perspective, especially if you're stressed at work. You just got to remember none of it matters.
I have to remind myself of that constantly. I'll be like, oh no, the numbers. And then later
the
that day,
Q2s
like,
don't match the Q3s.
Wait a minute. If this doesn't happen, the worst thing in the world, the worst thing that could possibly happen is you have to find another job.
Yeah.
That equally, most likely, doesn't matter in the grand scheme.
It really doesn't. We're just a blip on the timeline.
Yeah. Unless you're blip. Like someone like, a doctor, or you're doing something really helpful. Thank you to all of you people with careers that actually mean something.
That's true. We do need those people.
We do need you. Thank you.
Thank you.
But for us desk jobby people,
corporate girlies,
I just wish in interviews when they're like, what made you like apply for this company? You could just be like, because you were hiring.
Yeah, I saw the listing on Indeed.
How did we get here? This is not a job podcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so sorry.
It's equally my fault. We both have ADHD, which is like,
I know,
and recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and we said we were going to stay on track. So the name of the drink is the Emily Rose. So cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers to you and our listeners.
It's got vodka and muddled raspberries. Ooh, muddling, fancy. Lemonade, rose water. Not lemonade, lemon juice. Rose water and pineapple juice.
It tastes a little bit more subtle now that the ice is diluted.
Diluted.
It like you can definitely get the rose, but it's like citrusy but not overly sweet. I like it. I do like it a lot.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So let's just jump right in to Miss E. Rose.
Wait, didn't we want to talk about what we've been watching?
Oh, yes.
Or do we want to save that for a different episode? Well,
no, we'll do it now. We'll do it now because I have a lot to say.
Ooh,
but you go first. You go first.
Okay. So even though we haven't talked for like 2 full months, hence the season 2, that's the funny thing. I was like, we haven't recorded for 2 months. I'm just gonna pretend that we're starting a new season.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's
season
a trick.
2.
We tricked you. So I haven't watched that much, but I did watch finally The House That Jack Built. Have you watched that?
Yes, of course.
That was fucked up.
It was very fucked up. It's kind of a slow burn though, no?
Yeah.
I mean, like yes, but no. Like I feel like at first you think you know what you're getting and then it just like progressively gets more and more intense.
I just feel like the director needs to see a specialist because
I think we all do.
That's true. And then more recently, I watched all of the Saw movies except for the new one. I still haven't watched it yet. But in preparation for Saw 10, I watched Saw 1 through 9, which I guess includes Spiral.
So and that also includes Jigsaw.
And Jigsaw, I forgot about that one. But I did watch it. I watched all of them. And let me tell you, even rewatching them, I was like, yeah, these are still not that great. They're fun, but they're not like...
What's your favorite one out of all 9 so far?
Probably still the first.
Yeah, the OG.
The worst one, without a doubt, even though they brought A-listers in,
like
is Spiral. It's bad.
I didn't see it. I'm not going to lie.
It has like... Oh, what did I forget? Doesn't it have Chris Rock? Not Chris Rock. That's wrong. Hold on. Spiral IMDb. Oh, it did have Chris Rock. I didn't make that up.
Okay.
Chris Rock is the lead, and then Samuel L. Jackson is in it too. And it just...
I must have missed that whole situation.
It was like...
None of this sounds familiar.
It felt kind of like a reboot, even though it really wasn't. Yeah. It's still like the same Saw story, but... The Saw story. But I've heard Saw 10. The reviews are decent, but from my friends who have seen it, they're like, what is everyone talking about?
Okay, so I'm hearing the opposite. I heard that someone said that it was one of the best ones.
Really?
And then I also heard someone tell me to my face that it was their second favorite Saw out of all the Saws.
Wow.
So
I gotta form my own opinion, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I really want to see it, but that's definitely on my like what I'm looking forward to list.
Yeah. Other than that, I watched, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but Bottoms, which is not a horror movie, but it was very fun.
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite comedies of recent years, and it did have a lot of violence. So it's like getting close.
I'm glad to hear it was funny because the previews, I'm not going to lie, it did not make me laugh.
I think it's just for gay people. It's very much, it's funnier probably for gay people. And I also watched the series, most of the first season, I haven't finished it yet, of Interview with a Vampire. Which is great. I really love it. It's like the classic movie with Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, but like sexier.
Really?
And just like it, it's a story that needed to be drawn out into like...
I don't know if I want it to be sexier though. But it is. But I don't know if I like that.
Look, at least for me, it's sexier. It's very gay. Very
well, that makes a lot of sense. Makes sense why you'd like it.
Then I watched The Nun 2, which I told you I was going to wait to talk about this.
Yeah.
But we both saw The Nun together. Was that horrible. In college or that was post-grad?
No, we were both already living here.
But the first one was absolutely awful.
Terrible. I wanted to leave. It was not good.
The second one was pretty good.
Okay.
I left the first one. I remember in theaters being like, that's it.
Yeah, it was bad.
Because like it was so hyped, and like that character was so scary to me. The
potential was there, and I think as a former Catholic, I was also very much looking forward to that, but it was so boring. Like, why would you should never leave a horror movie feeling like it was boring.
Boring. Yeah.
That's insane.
The second one was gorier.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't have the opportunity to get bored in this one.
Okay.
And the story was still kind of like, what the fuck? But there were some scares. Also, like, the devil is in it. I don't even think that's a
Oh.
spoiler. He's just there and not
What is he
explained.
doing in it? Just like vibing or like
Well, he's like a goat man.
why? Okay, is this a dumb question? Why are demons always depicted as goats?
I,
Is
you
that
know,
like
I
is that a bibliological thing?
a bibliological.
Bibliological thing?
You know, I don't actually know the answer to that. I think it is because,
Mhm.
like, I think The Witch was supposed to be very set in that time period, and they
Mhm.
envisioned like the goat being evil. But I know it's also like something about like a black goat, which feels like low key
Racist.
racist.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's probably just one of those things where like someone made that comparison.
Maybe because the demon or the devil is bad.
This has been our podcast. Wow. Actually, I don't even want to think about it anymore. That is the reason
Oh yeah,
why
yeah.
it's a
I mean,
goat.
that's what I thought.
But yeah, he's there. And I was just, but also like not very explained, not very well. The development of the plot, not good.
Okay.
The scares, better.
Hmm. Okay.
And
Okay.
then that's pretty. Oh wait, I also watched. I have to talk about this. The Fall of the House of
Oh my
Usher.
gosh. Yes.
Have you?
We haven't finished it. We just finished the episode of with Vic.
Oh my god! One of my friends finished it and said that was, or she watched 3 episodes and was like, "I stopped because I was bored." And I was
Are you kidding
like,
me? Are you kidding me? How could you get bored watching that show?
I think the only thing I think is like in the scenes. This is not a spoiler for you, so I'm not going to spoil it. Where he's like explaining
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Sometimes those scenes go a little longer than I want them to.
Okay, that's fair, but also I feel like those scenes are so important
Oh yeah.
because of what he's saying. I can understand like visually there's not a whole lot going on, so if you're someone that does get distracted easily, I can see where you might be like, "Oh, let me look at TikTok or like pull up my phone
Mm-hmm.
real quick." But he all of those scenes that give you a hint of what's to come or like they help you understand what we already know a little bit better. So
And how can that ever bore you? Because
yeah.
like as soon as I got a taste of what was coming, I was like, I have to
Yeah.
know more.
Yeah.
I will say too, shout out to Mike Flanagan. At some point we're gonna do a Mike Flanagan episode because I
Yeah.
really want to.
Yeah.
But I think Hill House was still his scariest series. This series is the one that fills me with the most dread
Yeah.
because it does really good at like making you feel like something's coming.
Mhm. Well, you know what's coming. Like you
What's
know
coming.
what's gonna happen. Like you know,
Yeah, you
it's
know
what.
generally where it's
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
But in the scenes, like the interview scenes, they have like jump scares in there that are so out of left field.
Yeah.
Like they get worse as it goes on too. Or I'm
Yeah.
just
Don't spoil
like,
it. Don't spoil it.
but I
Love
just
it.
felt very filled with dread, and
That's a good
I
word
love
for
a
it.
show that makes me feel that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the difference. My friends said the difference between horror and terror. Like House of Usher is terrifying because it's like you're filled with this sense of unease.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I really like.
It's definitely stressful. I think that they have just enough gore in it as well, so it like fills that cup for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, I think just like the stressful part of it, like it's one of those rare times that we've seen a show where it almost starts from the end and then we work backwards in a way.
Yep.
I do like a show that has flashbacks, but sometimes I do think shows overdo it and it's hard to keep up with. I mean, the past or the present, but I think this show does a really great job. And visually, it's also a very beautiful show to watch as well.
So pretty.
So
it's
poetic.
Like the cinematography.
Yes. And I think he always brings that in all of his work. But I remember in high school, we learned about Edgar Allan Poe, and I was like the crazy girl that was like obsessed with his stories. And I was so excited about this. And the first episode, I'm not even going to lie, I was like, but then after episode 2, and the nightclub scene. I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm in. I'm
Sold.
in. That's still probably
Mhm.
my favorite episode so far.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also spent the whole show going like, because you find out immediately, again, not a spoiler, that all these characters die. Basically, you find that out in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
I spent the whole show being like, which one would I want to be? Like, how would I want to die? And
Definitely not Prospero.
I can tell you by the end of the show, I was like,
None of
none
them.
of them.
Yeah. This is also another spoiler. Usher, the singer, is not
Usher.
in this show. Usher.
I had 2 people ask me that this week, and I was like, one of them was my dad. So, you know,
You
for
should
the other
you
person,
should just tell people
dad
yes.
humor. Yes.
Yes, he actually is the star.
It's actually
It's about his home.
his loss of fame. So he got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Isn't
drinking.
he performing at the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about
So
that.
not that much, not that canceled. Hello,
I
not
don't
that
think he actually
canceled.
got canceled at all, from what I know. But maybe he did.
I've been watching a lot. I won't go into too much. In addition to the Fall of the House of Usher, we also started the new Goosebumps series on
Ooh, I haven't
Disney
watched that.
Plus. It's fun. It's kitschy. It's kind of cheesy and corny, but like that's kind of what Goosebumps is. There's a couple things I would have liked to have seen them do differently, like the opening. They don't have the OG theme song in there.
Oh.
You know, the one that's like dun 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 dun. Dun. You know what I'm talking about?
You know, I have no recollection of what that is.
The classic Goosebumps theme song is not in it. I was a little upset
It's
about
not
that.
in it.
It's not in it. And then at the beginning,
it
always says
Miranda Sings coded. Speaking of canceled people,
yeah. It also has like R.L. Stein at the beginning of like the OG series, and he's like, "Reader beware," like because that's how all of his books opened. Anyway, I was missing that. I don't think that they brought enough of like the beloved
nostalgia.
90s show to the new series, and I'm sure that was intentional, but as a millennial, that's what I really like wanted to see. But I only watched it because I love Justin Long, right? He's great. I think he's great in this show.
America's Sweetheart,
but again, he kind of plays one of those roles where like, is he the good guy or the bad guy? I won't spoil it for you, but
he's the bad guy, probably.
It's a fun show to watch. Like you go in, like don't take it too seriously. It's fun. It's entertaining. I'm enjoying it so far. I watched a couple of other things. Another show that I do want to shout out is based on a true story. Is the name of the show. It has is it Haley or Kaylee Cuoco?
Kaylee Cuoco?
Kaylee
No,
Cuoco.
Haley. What
See,
of
I
us?
don't know. I'm getting confused.
Could be either.
Miss Cuoco.
Miss Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, and then the other guy that stars alongside of her, I can't think of his name. I think it's Matt something something.
Also from Big Bang Theory?
No, he is. Let me look it up. He's like a zaddy. He's like one of those like people where you're just like, yeah,
just like
I'd smash.
Yeah.
Chris Messina.
I love Chris Messina.
Isn't he just
He's
like
hot.
really cute? Yeah.
I feel like he was in,
very
charming. Sharp Objects. I think.
Yes.
He was very hot in that.
Yes. Like he always plays like a lovable character, but like
hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovable but hot.
Lovable but hot. But it's a really great show. It's actually about a podcast.
Ooh.
Husband and wife want to start their own podcast, and there's a serial killer in their town. And they may or may not accidentally make friends with the serial killer and convince him to be on their podcast. It's really good. It's funny. There's only one season out. It's an easy watch. I think there's only like 8 episodes, but that is really good. We binged it in like 2 days.
What was I going to say? Oh, why is that making me think of that? I think it's a series coming out with Emma Stone and Nathan Fielder.
Yes. They're filming a movie.
Oh, is it a movie?
It's a
I couldn't tell if it was a movie or a series.
I think it's like very much Fixer-Upper vibes.
But it looks like Fixer-Upper, but like the truth about what it does to like the community.
Yeah. So that one looks really good.
No shade.
Yeah, no, I mean, or shade. I don't know.
Or some shade. Light shade.
I rewatched
Light
Practical
shade.
Magic as well this past week. Oh my gosh. Okay, so when I watched it the first time, I was little because it came out in the 90s, early 2000s. And I thought it was really scary because there's a character in there that is like kind of violent and just like very toxic and abusive. And like that was really scary to me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting when you go back and watch movies as an adult and how much of a different perspective you have on it. So it's not a scary movie, but like it is witchy. So I'm categorizing it into like our Halloween episode, but it's really good. I'm obsessed with Nicole Kidman and Sandra Bullock. They're great. So
Icons.
yes, so definitely watch it if you haven't. Okay, and the only other one that I'll mention, okay, I watched a few other I'll mention. I watched Boogeyman, the one with the girl from Yellow Jackets.
Melanie Linsky?
No. She plays the girl. She plays
yeah.
Nat.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
Nat.
It's all right.
I got the vibe that it was just all right from the trailer.
It was all right, yeah. And then speaking of not all right, okay, I have a few more. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it short, but like I've watched so much.
That's okay.
We watched No One Will Save You.
Wait, I watched that too. I forgot about that. I enjoyed it, but I will say, to soapbox for a second, the TikTok trend of being like, this is the best horror movie I've ever seen.
Stop recommending movies to us.
What's wrong with you? Because
it's clickbait.
Like, is someone paying them? Because
it's for views. I think it's like when a movie is trending or about to come out, it's for views. I think.
That's fair.
I don't know.
Because I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it, but I wasn't like, wow.
So I had a good time the first like maybe 20, 30 minutes. And then I was like, okay, well, now what? I think I loved the ambition behind it. I know I got what they were trying to do. I think it would have translated a lot better if it was like a short or something. Because when you only have one character pretty much throughout the whole movie and no dialogue,
there's a script 1 page long.
I don't even know if there really was a script. They probably were just like ad-lib the few like huffs and puffs you have to do. But like same thing when we talked about this when we like set a movie in an apartment building or like in a plane. Like I just feel like you limit yourself on like the possibilities that you can do. So to me, it became very redundant. So that's why I was like, and then the last one that I absolutely hate was I finally watched Skinamarink.
I still haven't seen it.
Do not like literally like stare at the corner of the ceiling for 30 minutes and that's basically like watching the movie.
Is that what we're going to do for the rest of our episode? Wow. This is
riveting. It was so bad.
Did you see that revised list of scariest movies
yes,
ever?
And it was on
like
there.
Number 2.
That's the only reason I watched it. It's literally like just looking at random objects in the home for like several minutes at a time. And then it'll cut to another object for like several minutes. And it's like, maybe it's the anticipation that it builds up, but like it doesn't go anywhere. It's honestly, it's horrible. Like I'd rather just like go to sleep.
That was another one where someone on TikTok was like, best horror movie I've ever seen. It was like, what was that fucking movie I watched that I spent like $10
I don't know, with the dad
on?
And the kids or
that
something.
Was definitely like homemade. Made me so angry. It was awful.
That's what I've been watching. Some good stuff, some not so good stuff, but we're here to tell you. And I think we also both watched Rose Red.
Oh yeah, I rewatched that too.
We have to bring up Rose Red because we're talking about Emily Rose.
Yeah, that's true. Because like Rose Red was one of those things that I think I watched in like 4th or 5th grade. It came out before that, but like I remember it came on TV one time and I watched it and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too.
I don't even know how my parents let me because they were pretty strict back then. But I watched the whole thing.
Because it was like a made-for-TV movie probably, and they thought it was fine.
They're probably like not home. And I was like, ooh. That's why I watched Chucky one time because it was on TV.
Chucky is another thing. That is scary.
I need to watch the series. I've heard good things.
It's pretty good, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Huh. I've only seen like the first, like maybe half of the first season, but...
Is Tiffany in it?
Not what I've seen so far. She might come in another season, but...
But yeah, Rose Red, I still haven't finished it in this rewatch. I watched like the first 2. I haven't watched the 3rd episode yet. But it's definitely not as scary as I remembered it as a child.
Right, same.
But I still think it's really good.
I think the special effects are actually very impressive for its time also. We were watching it, and I guess Mason had never seen it. And I was like, yeah, I can't believe this came out in I guess I think everything came out in 02, this episode, but I'm pretty sure it was 02. And he's like, this came out in 02? And I was like, yeah, you never seen
2002, you're right.
See? And I was, when did Practical Magic come out? Look up that. And Emily Rose. Anyway, he was just like surprised that
98 for Practical Magic.
Okay, well, close. Emily Rose, 03?
5.
See, well, it's all within 10 years.
All those years blend together in my mind.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed watching it. It was very nostalgic watching it. It was fun. I didn't realize how many people, like big name actors, were in it.
In there.
Melanie Linsky, the girl that plays Marnie in Halloween Town. I forget her actual name.
I was just looking at it and I forgot, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's Kimberly Brown. Is her
Kimberly
name.
Brown, yes. And then Deschanel.
Or Emily.
Emily Deschanel, yeah.
Yeah, it's great. If you want to watch it, it's on Hulu. It hasn't been streaming since it came out, or since like 2004 when it was on TV a couple times.
Yeah, I have the OG VHS recording.
Wow.
So if you want to.
But we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and
take some shots.
And we're going to take shots after the break.
Why do you hesitate?
I don't know. I just remembered that we have to take them. I was like,
okay. So you bought them.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back.
Hi. I always have to have a little Kardashian.
Hi. I was trying to think of a quote. Rise and shine.
Oh my God, is that a chicken?
Oh my God, is that a chicken?
Today we're talking about the Exorcism of Emily Rose, which, if you haven't seen it, it came out in 2005, so what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like get with it.
But
first.
First we're going to
take a shot.
This is a porn star shot. Mm-hmm. When I bought it, the cashier looked at me like with a lot of judgment. And she was like, have you had that before? I was like,
have you had that before?
It smells.
I don't even. Don't do that.
What do they do that?
Don't do that.
How do you even drink this? Like,
do it like do it like where you get both at the same time. It's like a dual shot. Has a pink and a blue.
Cheers, baby.
Cheers, baby. Proud of you, sweetie. Yeah. It's not the worst thing I've ever had.
That bad.
It's 20% alcohol.
Wow.
Good thing we shoved Sonic up our ass before. Well, we did. Well, our mouth, our face hole.
Corn dogs are the right shape for that.
Who?
What?
Cornholes?
I said
corn dogs. Corn dogs.
Why didn't I get a corn dog? I really wanted a corn dog from Sonic, and then I just said chicky titties.
Make me want a corn dog real bad.
I'm like 5, so I eat chicky titties.
Chicky titties. Okay, yes. Exorcism of Emily Rose. In my humble opinion, I think it is the best Exorcist movie. I love The Exorcist, the OG, but
I like it better than The Exorcist too, I think.
It's just, there's something about it. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I think it's Jennifer Carpenter, the actress that plays Emily Rose. Like, I think the reason it's as effective as it is because of her.
I rewatched it, and it scared me when I was I think I saw it for the first time probably freshman year of high school, because I was not allowed to watch demon movies before then. Mm-hmm. And it scared the shit out of me back then. Mm-hmm. And rewatching it, I was expecting to be like less scared. Oh, it's still scary. Maybe lightly less scared. The scene where the boyfriend wakes up in bed and God. Looks over and she's like,
how does she contort her body like that? It is crazy. Even when it's like possessing her in her dorm, like the way she just tenses her body.
It's terrifying.
It is. She's so good.
She had to be so sore after recording.
Oh, I'm sure. But even like her cry, like I think she just has like just such a huge jaw. And so like when she cries or screams, like her mouth gets so wide, and like that also feels very inhuman. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just think she just is so good. Yeah. And I think that she is why it is so scary even now. And I think it still like holds firm to this day. When it came out in 2005, my mom took me and my sister Cameron, my little sister.
Who was younger than me, so she was in like 3rd grade, maybe.
I think she was born in 96, so she would have been like 9, right? Is that math adding up?
It's like 2nd grade, I think.
Yeah, And I was like 13 maybe.
Oh my God.
13,
Too
14.
young to be watching that
Well,
movie.
my mother, you wonder why I am the way I am. My mother took me and Cameron to go see the Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Oh, Lulu.
And, it was rated PG-13.
That is true. I forgot it was
So it
PG-13.
wasn't rated R, it was rated PG-13. And
And you were 13 and you were guided by a parent.
yeah, thank
Cameron should
you.
not have been there.
Well, legally, I think it's kind of like alcohol.
Yeah.
Like if your parents are there, it's fine. But during like the scene where during the exorcism part, Cameron started freaking out and she was like, "Mom, please, I don't want to be here." And so and by the way, this is like in the middle of the day. We were the only three in the theaters. No one else was in the theaters, like no one at all. And my mom took my sister out of the theater until that scene was over. So it was literally just me in the theater during the exorcism. And I like begged my mom to take me. So I needed to keep a brave face and
You're like,
like,
this is fine.
I'm like, oh no, like it's not scary. It's fine. It's all good. But
Meanwhile, like tears are coming
I
out of
was
your
also,
eyes.
I don't think I like breathed once. I was so terrified. So that like heightened, I think, the experience for me when I watched it.
There was just something about horror movies in the early 2000s. One, I guess, because like one of the reasons why I think we like it more than The Exorcist, like even though I recognize that's like a
classic
cinematic classic or whatever, is that this was for our generation.
Mm-hmm.
And something about horror movies back then, like we've lost that magic. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, my thingy, but like there was something back then. And I witnessed this too when I watched and we're going to talk about this, or at this point we've already talked about this in our Halloween episode, Trick or Treat.
Trick or treat.
In that one also has that early 2000s like magic, and I don't know what it is, but something is just missing.
Yeah.
Maybe we're too polished now.
I think a lot of people make movies to appeal to the mass audience, whereas I feel like this was a little bit of a change. Like it wasn't for everybody, because in this movie, it directly challenges the beliefs of the Catholic Church and the priest, because you have the priest that's on trial, where I feel like a lot of exorcist movies, it's like, oh, we believe in God and we believe in Catholicism, and that we just need to pray over this soul and expel the demons. Like we just like are made to believe like this is how everybody thinks. But I think this is the first time where the movie actually challenges us, like, was it medicine? Was it psychosis? Was it actually a demon? Is this something spiritual? So I think you also had that aspect in it too, which made it more realistic. And it also was based on a true exorcism.
Right. Yeah. I listened to a podcast, I think, about the real exorcism, or another one that was like televised.
And we talked about it on our show.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
You're right, we did. I remember. I've slept since then. But like it was little, I think it was on Dateline. Like it was the recordings were put on the news.
Yeah.
And like that was a little irresponsible of like the media, because regardless of what you believe, like watching that is going to like make you question and be like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I liked about this movie. Maybe this movie doesn't really lean one way or the other. I honestly feel like it makes you feel like it's real by the end.
Yeah. Well, and it also, and to your point, it kind of makes the audience think for ourselves a little bit. And I think as an audience, we're not stupid. And we've talked about this before on the show, but I think audiences kind of like for it to be up to them. Like, what do you think it is? Like, what's your consensus on it?
Yeah. Laura Linney was also great as the attorney.
Mason was Mason. Who did he think? Oh, he was like, "Is that Jodie Foster?" I was like, "No."
There's like something about her, Jodie Foster, and Laura Dern that I like.
Yeah, they all kind of look similar.
They all have a thing. There's one other, who's the lady in Twister?
Oh, Helen Hunt.
She's one of them.
I think it's the nose. Like they have like a very like asymmetrical like face. I don't know.
All of them, like I mix them up sometimes. I feel like now I really have Laura Dern and Laura Linney down.
Yeah.
Because of Big Little Lies and Ozark.
Yeah.
Those were like their most recent big things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she was really good. I think Jennifer Carpenter obviously is still the main like champion here.
Yes, 100%.
I read too
She's
that
so good.
her audition, like what sealed the deal for her,
Mm-hmm.
was she did the like silent screaming thing that she does in the movie.
Silent screaming.
Oh my god. We should have her on the
We should.
podcast. You think she'd do it?
Jennifer, call us.
Jennifer, Miss Carpenter.
Love you, girl. Would love you in quarantine too.
Yeah, we can talk about quarantine too, and this, and
Dexter.
yeah, that one. I haven't watched it. I should probably watch it first. Yeah, this is great. I even think the special effects, like, they're not great by today's standards, but like, I'm talking about like when the people's faces would like contort.
Oh yeah.
But like, it still scares me.
Yeah, because to me it makes sense because it's something that she's may or may not be seeing in her head, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
I do like too that they showed the scenes of like what the doctors were saying. They're like, oh no, she just had a seizure, and then it showed her just like having a
Yes,
seizure.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's just, I don't know. I think it was. It gave us the scare without having to give us all the special effects, and I think that's really powerful.
Yeah. Also, it says IMDb trivia said that to prepare for her role, she spent hours in a room full of mirrors.
Ooh.
She tried out different body positions and facial expressions to see what was the scariest. I'm like, that's so smart.
Yeah.
And there were also 2 dolls made for the film. One for when her limbs were locked.
Oh, okay.
And one when she was on the floor in a twisted position. So we did have some special effects to like help her. Oh wait, the director ultimately never used a doll in the dorm room scene because he found out that Jennifer Carpenter is incredibly flexible and decided that the position she was able to contort herself into were more unsettling than what could be accomplished with dummy.
Dang, that's our girl.
Wow.
That's crazy.
What an icon.
Iconic.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's quite scary.
Mm-hmm.
It has some real good moments. IMDb rates it lower than I would, but again,
IMDb, I'm kind of over them, to be honest.
Also, like horror,
it never does well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I am not the type of person that will watch a movie multiple times.
Me neither.
Normally, I'll watch a movie. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've seen it, but like Exorcism of Emily Rose, I've seen it at least 10 different times, and I love it every single time I watch it.
Yeah, has a 6.7 on IMDb, which is pretty good for horror.
Yeah, anything in the 6s, I think. Okay, if I see it's a 6, I'm like, okay, I'll probably like not hate it.
Critic score on Rotten Tomatoes is 45%. It's
people just don't like scary movies. They're really hard on scary movies.
So the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 60%. So the audiences liked it a bit more. But I love it. It stands the test of time, and I think everyone should watch it. I love a little Christian scare movie. It's like like The Conjuring is like this generation's version of that, where it's like they don't even have to be like, so like God is real and Jesus is real, so like here's these demons.
Yeah,
you're just like expected to be like, yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of fun, I guess.
It is. Well, it is. And like most of the time as an audience, we go along with it. But again, I don't think that we typically have a demon movie or really any horror movie where it makes you like question, like, what do you actually believe? And maybe that's part of the point.
Ooh, maybe it is. Shocking.
Yeah, like what are your beliefs?
Yeah, but it's also like slightly irresponsible because like I guess since the church isn't like scaring people as much into, no, that's not true. The church is still scaring people into religion all the time, but like we don't need Hollywood doing it too, you know. But I also don't think I've ever left a horror movie being like, wow, I really like need to go to church now.
Yeah, and I would be curious to like compare the two, like the movie versus what it was inspired by, or like the true story, and how it compares like from on the court side or the legal perspective. Because from all accounts, the real and the movie, the real version or the real what's her name? Annalise was her name. Annalise Michael.
Annalise Keating?
No, Annalise
From
Michael. She was the exercised
I
girl.
was doing How to Get Away
I
with Murder.
exercised yesterday too.
The exercise girl.
Well, into entry and for. But I'm curious, like what did that court trial look like?
That court trial.
What did the shots hitting me? What did that look like?
Like court?
What did that trial look like compared to what they portrayed in the movie?
Like, was Laura Linney there?
Yeah, I don't think she was. I think she probably was still maybe not even born yet.
Oh yeah, probably not.
But you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say?
I think I do. It's like the Ryan Murphy effect, like the Jeffrey Dahmer series, which I have not seen because
did he direct that?
Yeah, I think so.
He did.
Yeah. He at least produced it.
I have a bone to pick with him because why is all of the American Horror Stories absolutely garbage?
I haven't even watched the Kim Kardashian.
Me either, because the last 5 have been garbage.
I've seen 3 clips where they're like, "Wow, Kim can really act," and they're being serious. And then I watch the clip and I'm like, "Where?"
She's like, "I'm so proud of you."
There's one scene where she like has sex with a guy for like money, I guess, or not money. They have like some sort of arrangement where she's like a producer and he does like favors. And she's like, okay, like, this is done. And, like, this doesn't mean anything. And I'm like...
But that's probably how she is in real life, too, though.
That's true. I guess it is, like, good acting if she's able to accurately portray how she is in real life in those situations, so...
I really, honestly, before I rewatched it recently, I only remember, like, the scary pieces of Emily Rose, like, when she's being possessed, like the dorm room scenes, like always get me. The scene where she's in the church always gets me. And then when they go out to the barn and she's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That like those pieces stick out to me. I really didn't pay much attention to the trial until this recent time, the most recent time when I watched it, which was last week. And I was like, wow. And I forgot they did all the flashbacks of like their perspective versus like the priest's perspective. Is that my water bottle?
I forgot that I stole it until right this moment. This is your water bottle.
Okay.
The ASMR that people can hear of me drinking out of it. I'll clean and give it back to you after this. Well, if you like this episode, we're going to pretend that I didn't steal something from Jordan.
That's okay. It's borrowing.
You should rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast on all major platforms. And you should also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And send us emails at silentscreamingpodcast@gmail.com.
Share with your friends. Share with your mother.
Invite all your friends to the party. Invite all your friends.
It is a party. It's a party.
And if you want to like give us money, we did have a GoFundMe that I'm gonna say is pretty much closed. Well,
it's never closed. We'll always take your money.
The quality will just continue to get better because we have a new Rodecaster now, which is our little sound studio.
Yep.
And we have new mic stands, and we're using the rest of our money on mics. These are on loan. These are my roommate's mics, but we'll be getting
new lights,
mics very soon. We'll be getting mics, mics, and likes.
Lights, mics, and likes. That was good. Ooh, that should be a like a hashtag.
Hashtag lights, mics, and
we can't even. Well, that's why we would hashtag it because we can't pronounce it.
Can't say it. But
we love you.
We love you, and don't
fart in my mouth. Oh, don't drink in podcasts. I forgot. That's what
I was gonna do like an alternating thing, like.
Oh, okay, do it again. Let's try it again.
Wait. Don't
drink. Podcast.
Bitch.
Whore.
Okay, bye.
Bye.